Hello, I'm Bob Schieffer, and welcome to the CBS Evening News Online edition. Just ahead, in a rare on-camera interview, an Iraqi insurgent leader tells what he's fighting for and how he sees the upcoming elections. Lara Logan will have details. Also, the boom in Internet shopping. We'll take a look at why it's so popular this year, and you'll meet a real average Joe. In fact, out of 280 million Americans studied, he is the winner. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News Online edition. Most Iraqis will vote Thursday, but the absentees, the Iraqis who live in the United States and 14 other countries around the world, cast their ballots today and without incident. If all goes as expected on Thursday, millions more who live in Iraq will vote there. That is the good news, but in Iraq, no day passes without bad news. 4 more American soldiers were killed by a bomb near Baghdad. And as our Lara Logan reports, in this complicated place, nothing, especially an election, comes easy.
The election has dominated Iraqi TV, glossy campaign ads offering a better future. But today, this shocking internet video released by Al-Qaeda showed a very different image of Iraq. Masked gunmen executing police recruits in broad daylight, mafia style. One man tries to escape but is pursued and brutally shot before the gunman returns to make sure the others are dead.
This has all the hallmarks of, on its face, a legitimate Zarqawi insurgent video.
What's their intent, do you think, when they release a video like that?
Firstly, it's to strike terror, but it also serves many other purposes, among them as recruitment aids. This is an inspirational video.
Michael Ware is the only Western journalist in regular contact with insurgents, and in 3 years, they've given him hundreds of videos. That's how he can tell this video, showing 2 Iraqi women hostages, is more likely the work of groups seeking to exploit the current chaos in Iraq than members of an organized terrorist group. The women are seen here pleading for their lives, moments before being executed.
This is essentially a snuff video on one level. But by the same token, this also works to intimidate or to establish a sense of power amongst those who have perpetrated this for whatever reason.
Ware talks to different insurgent groups, from the religious extremists of Al-Qaeda to Iraqi nationalist fighters. He persuaded one of the leaders to do something insurgents rarely do, an on-camera interview.
This is a relatively senior commander and top-level strategist for one of the largest, if not the most dominant, Ba'athist insurgent organisation.
He is also a former top-ranking military officer in Saddam Hussein's army, but says he is not fighting to return Saddam to power.
Saddam is a man whose time is gone, but the country who gave birth to him will give birth to others like him, hundreds or thousands.
He revealed their strategy to fight with both bullets and ballots.
As a resistance, we hope to participate in this political process.
He says he and his men will be voting on election day, but they will not lay down their arms.
The resistance will finish when the occupation is finished. After that, the weapons will be dropped.
Ironically, this insurgent commander is exactly the type of military leader that the U.S. once turned away, but is now reaching out to, hoping to lure them back into the Iraqi army that's desperately short of experienced leaders.
Well, Lara, do you think these people would be willing to come back?
They might, Bob. They certainly might on the right terms. That would mean having their old jobs back, having some kind of amnesty. And, you know, these are the kind of people that have a vision for Iraq, which is very much in line with the U.S. vision as secular democratic country. And they're exactly the kind of people that the U.S. needs if they're going to hold Iraq together.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Laura, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. There is one place that holiday sales are up, way up, and that's the Internet. Here's Anthony Mason.
Do you have an order number?
You can hear the bustle of holiday business at Michigan-based Moose Jaw Mountaineering.
Moose Jaw!
So far, business has been amazing.
Moose Jaw sells outdoor clothing and gear in 7 stores, but owner Robert Wolf says the place he's moving the most merchandise is on moosejaw.com,
we're up about 75% this year online compared to 2004.
This holiday season, many shoppers are skipping those crowded stores and, like Kevin Brown, doing much of their shopping online.
You do it at home, you get what you want, and you get it quickly and cheaply.
So just how much are we actually spending on the internet? $18 billion this holiday season, according to one projection. That's up 25% over last year. You can see the surge at barnesandnoble.com.
So we're tracking all that, constantly tracking all that.
CEO Marie Toulantas took us to the website's operations center.
What we're seeing here is as the day progresses, and it's 12:30 now, New York time, and you'll see that the search rates are going up, the order rates are going up.
Barnesandnoble.com was handling well over 100,000 searches an hour in what will be the busiest week of the year.
We could see a spike of 4 to 5 times our ordinary traffic in this particular week.
Of course, that means many people will be shopping at the office. Mondays are always the busiest day at moosejaw.com.
And our theory is that the last thing people want to do when they get to work is work. So the first thing they do is start playing online.
Wolf says Moose Jaw is now doing 65% of its business over the internet.
Which color are you looking for that in?
A while ago, the internet was really just a bonus to our business, and now it really drives the entire business.
In the hectic holiday search for that perfect gift, more and more shoppers are finding it's right there at their fingertips.
We can look it up by style number, that's no problem.
Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
The humorist Garrison Keillor often talks about a town called Lake Wobegon, a town where all the women are beautiful and all the children are above average. That's funny because nobody likes to be called average. Well, check that. It turns out there is one person who does, and it's a good thing because he is certifiably average. Richard Schlesinger found him.
You're just a regular celebrity now, aren't you?
Bob Burns may be one of the most sought-after men in the world.
All right, I'll be right up.
Pitchmen want to pitch him.
Okay, yep.
Pollsters want to poll him.
Good to meet you.
Not because of who he is,
Bob Burns at Wyndham Tech,
but because of who he isn't.
Everyone dreams about being a rock star or maybe an astronaut, you know.
But Bob Burns is a 53-year-old building maintenance supervisor in Wyndham, Connecticut. And according to one study, of all 280 million people in the U.S., he is the one perfectly average American.
Average I am, and average I will be. And I'm happy with that.
Burns was discovered by author Kevin O'Keefe, who made it his mission to find the average American and then wrote a book about his search.
I used to ignore people that I considered to be average.
O'Keefe studied reams of census data, interviewed people from Maine to Hawaii, and developed 140 characteristics that everyday Americans told him define the average American.
Most Americans are happy most or all of the time. Most Americans go to church at least once a month. Most Americans have fired a gun at least once in their life. Most Americans live within 20 minutes of a Walmart and 3 miles of a McDonald's.
It took him more than 2 years, but O'Keefe narrowed his search down to this town, this house, and this man.
Thank you.
You don't regret not being a corporation president?
No, because you know why? I know my limitations.
All of O'Keefe's data led him right next door to the town he grew up in, to a man he already knew. It turns out Bob Burns was a custodian at O'Keefe's high school.
That's very average.
O'Keefe ended his search in his own backyard and learned lessons about life that hit close to home.
It's all about family, it's all about community, and that may sound cliche, but I'm getting it for the first time.
In a world obsessed with celebrity, Bob Burns knows while he is average,
General store's closing.
He's anything but ordinary.
It's a great feeling. It's great to be average, believe me. Take care.
Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, Wyndham, Connecticut.
More stories are just a click away, but don't forget to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. On Wednesday's broadcast, some things you may not know about one of America's favorite founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin. The CBS Evening News goes to Philadelphia for a special exhibition. For CBSNews.com, I'm Bob Schieffer.